All right, today we're going through footwork, and this is beginner footwork. So if you clicked on this video, this is for you. A couple foundations when it comes to footwork. We're going to work on what we're doing stationary, which is your basic stance, whether you're southpaw or orthodox, right? Obviously, you're a beginner. You may not know the difference between the two. We're going to explain those. But we're going to work on what you're doing from a stationary position, but then also what you're doing from a movement. And that's going to be moving side to side, laterally. That's going to be moving linear, which is front and back. And that's also going to be moving diagonal or circular, because that's how you move in a boxing ring. So whether you're doing this to compete and make this a career, or whether you're doing this just for fun, footwork is very important. It's going to be the foundation of it. Also, if you're clicking on this and you're advanced, I challenge you to stay to the end of the video, because if you can do these things, then you should probably get into the advanced footwork, which I have for you as well. But if you can't do these things, you probably want to slow down and get into the footwork. Why this works is because it's not only a foundation for what you need to do from a footwork standpoint, it is things that you can do daily, and it only takes you 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 30 seconds to do this daily to improve your footwork. And that's the nature of getting good at anything. What are the reps I need from a certain period of time to be able to get good at these things? But we're going to start with Jordan, because Jordan is session 2, hour 2 of his workout. So we're going to start with somebody new so we can figure out some beginner mistakes that you may see if this is you, but then just go from there. So Jordan's going to step forward. We're going to start with our foundation, what we do from our initial stance. So Jordan has done this before in a short standpoint. So if you see, he's already kind of lined up. You guys might not be able to see right now, but there is a line on the ground right now. That's going to be something that you should use as well, because we're going to get into something called heel-toe alignment. But before we even get into that, we're going to start very much with the basics. So Jordan, go ahead and face them. We want our feet to be shoulder width apart. We're not even worried about a boxing stance, because this is like our first day in the gym. We don't even know what a boxing stance looks like. So we're going to get our feet shoulder width apart. Now from there, we're going to take whatever foot is our dominant foot or our dominant hand, and we're going to take a step back with that foot. But we're still going to be in the shoulder width apart alignment. And so what happens with that is dominant hand, we normally hide that hand when it comes to boxing, unless you're Bruce Lee, which is dominant hand going forward, but that's another video. And so now from here, what he's going to look to do is turn his feet about 45 degrees. And when he does that, if you notice, his feet are a little bit further apart. From a lateral standpoint, what we want to do is we want to put our toe on the line that's in front of us. And then we want to put our heel on the line that's in front of us. So now we have something in boxing called heel-toe alignment. Now the question is we're obviously working from the ground up, because that's the bottom of our kinetic chain. But what do we do with our hands? We're not worried about throwing punches or anything just yet, but the question is, what do we do with our hands? Well, we treat our elbows the same way as our knees. So elbows are going to be lined up with our knees, and our hands are going to be open and relaxed. And if you notice, he has a slight turn towards you, so he's slightly bladed. This is going to be, and now from here, we're going to be soft with the knees. We're not worried about being big or like a big dip or anything just yet. We just want to be soft and relaxed with the knees. Even though we're talking about our footwork, with our chin, we want to make sure that we keep that tucked. The way I think about that is if you're looking over the top of reading glasses, right? As far as grandma, she has glasses on. She just looks over the top because she doesn't want to put her glasses all the way down. That's what we're viewing with our eyes, right? Now from here, we started about the stationary position. So this is just your stance right now. So stationary before we get into movement. We are stationary, but we want to look into doing something with our feet and moving our head. So all Jordan's going to do is turn his right toe and then also point his left toe towards you guys. So go ahead and twist right in there. So that is the balance that we have off of that shot. So for you guys that are learning with your coaches, this may be called front foot position for you. This may be called position A, whatever your coach's system's called. Your head is mainly on your left heel, right? Now I'll explain that from the side so you guys can see as well. But first I want Jordan to now get to his back foot, or position B. And if you notice, all he did was turn his left toe and turn his right toe to be in that new position. So if you notice, with his feet, it made his hips move, it made his shoulders move, it made his head move to a different head slot. So now that we have what we're doing from a stationary position, which is requiring movement. Jordan, do it one more time for me. Twist and twist again. Now for that visual aspect, so we understand our balance, we're now going to go sideways. So Jordan, face that way as if you're fighting somebody that way. And do the same thing with your feet. Now, if we stop right there, if you notice what's going to happen is when we're balanced here, we want something called a head, knee, heel alignment. So we have somewhere to put our head so we're balanced to be able to do the next thing that we want to do in boxing, because you're only as good as your next position. And so you want to be able to attack, defend, and move each time that you change positions. So if you see Jordan's head, it should be head, knee, heel. If he feels like he's too far, he needs to reposition himself to go ahead and feel that there. So that is the front foot. That's as far as you can go. Now he's going to twist his toe to get into that next position. And once again, if he's looking in the mirror, because there's going to be a mirror right in front of him, he should see head, knee, heel alignment. So now that we're in this stationary position, a couple things that you can do to make sure that you're changing correctly and you feel balanced. All you're going to do is do one toe turn, another toe turn, another toe turn, and another toe turn. So now if you notice here, this isn't as comfortable for him because he's starting to lose his balance. And one of the reasons why that is because as we twist one toe, we're digging the other into the ground. We're twisting one toe, we're digging the other heel into the ground. So not the toe, the heel. Because otherwise, if we twist both, we start doing something like this. And our feet get further and further and further apart. So I'm twisting one toe and digging into the ground with the other. Twisting one toe and digging into the ground with the other. And so that's what we're focusing on. So that's the first part. We have the stationary position. So now I'm going to have Jordan get into his boxing stance once again. Now we're talking about movement. And we talked about movement in the three ways that we move. Forward and back, which is linear. Left and right, which is side to side and lateral. And then we also move diagonal or in a circle. So the first thing that we're going to do is work on our movement front and back. The easiest way to remember this is step with the foot that's closest to the direction you want to go. So if Jordan wants to go forward, his left foot is forward, he's going to move with that one first, and he's going to drag the right foot. If he wants to move backwards, before he does, the foot that's closest going backwards is his right foot. So he's going to move that one first, and then he's going to drag that left foot. Each time that you move, you want to make sure that you're back into position. If we're going to the left, the same theory applies. Left foot goes first. If we're going to the right, same theory applies. Right foot goes first. So how do we practice that to get better at it? We're going to do something called a box. So Jordan's going to step forward with his left foot. He's going to step left with his left foot. He's going to step back with his right foot. He's going to step back with his right foot. So if he did this correctly and understanding how each step should be similar in his movement, he should have ended up in the same position. If he didn't, you understand, because maybe one of those steps was a little bit bigger than the other. And that's what we want to focus on. But that is just going to be your position from a left to right, which is lateral, a front to back, which is linear. Now we're going to do something diagonal, which is how we circle. So Jordan's going to be back in his stance. Let's go and step back a little bit so we can get this circle. If you guys can go ahead and see there's an O here, this is where he's going to circle. You have to be able to circle to your left and your right. So in order to do that, instead of going big step forward straight, or big step back straight, or big step to the left, which is lateral, or big step to the right, lateral, he's going to do something with his foot which is going to make him go slightly diagonal. So take that right foot slightly diagonal because we're going to the right first, and then go ahead and drag, small step with that left foot. He's going to do it again. Right there, right there, right there. Stop right there. And if you notice how easy it is to get out of position, because his reference point of who he's fighting is in the center. So if you guys see here now, he is not in his boxing stance anymore because his left toe and his right toe are pretty much squared, which makes him a moving target, or he's always a moving target, which makes him more open for targets. So the difference in boxing than in other sports is you're not protecting a rim, you're not protecting the goal, you're not protecting the end zone, you're not protecting anything else besides yourself. So you can move as slow or as fast as you need to without getting out of position. So if we have Jordan do this again, his main thing is that he wants to stay in boxing position according to his opponent. So remember, you're fighting somebody here, which is almost like you're fighting me. So go ahead and circle, small baby steps, small baby steps, small baby steps, small baby steps, small baby steps. Stop right there. Now he's going to circle to the left. The same theory applies. Instead of taking that foot forward or back, or left, or right. He's gonna go to the left, slightly diagonal. Drag that right foot. Once again, I'm his reference point. I'm who he's fighting. Fix it. There, just fix it. Let's move. Now go back to the right. I'll see you, baby. You too.
Take care.
So now that we have our movement down, which is front and back, linear, side to side, which is lateral, and then circle and diagonal there, now we think about one more thing that happens in boxing, which is pivots, right? And so pivots, what we're gonna do is, if you come from a basketball background, that is something that you do in basketball. You do that in all sports because the common denominator in all sports is us, right? So how we move is how we move more so according to the sport as a sport according to us. So we talk about pivots. Jordan's back in his boxing stance. You can pivot 2 directions, right? So right now, all Jordan's gonna do is leave this lead foot planted, right? And he's gonna swing this right foot towards the right to now face that direction. Go ahead. And he's gonna stay right there. If you notice, he may be in a slightly different stance than when we initially had him start, so you guys can see where his head placement was gonna be. And that's his job as well, making sure that each time that we make a movement, we are still in boxing position, because when you pivot, you don't wanna get exposed and get out of position. So that is pivoting one way. Now he's going to now leave that left toe or that lead leg anchored and planted, and he's gonna swing the right foot to the left to face you guys again. That is a pivot, right? And so you have quarter turns or you have big 180 turns. So Jordan now, if he wanted to, he can go ahead and now face you guys to turn all the way around and face the opposite direction. Now, there's gonna be a trick that I'm gonna tell Jordan as far as how to do this, because he does come from a basketball background. Your head or your crown and your eyes lead everything. So if he wants to spin as fast as he can, what he's gonna do is use that same theory, but he's gonna turn his head and his eyes to face that other direction as fast as he can, and everything's gonna turn around. This is his first time doing this, so let's go ahead and see what this looks like. See? So we only want to face the other direction. So that would have almost been a 360. The reason why the 360 is not important in boxing is because our opponent should be in front of us. At the most, they might be over our left shoulder or over our right shoulder if we're in an orthodox stance. So I don't really need the 360. The most I need to do, if I'm trying to go ahead and be big, the most I need to do is 180 with my turn. 180 with my turn. That's the most I need to do. So Jordan, let's go and see you try it again. Balance. Yeah, so for you, if you notice, where should your stance be? You want that left toe going forward still, right? So go back in front of the camera. So when you turn around, I need you to be in the same position. Step a little bit more forward. I need you to be more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I need you to be in the same position, right? So go ahead and turn and face me. Stay there. You see how now you're off balance? That's what I want to see. Go ahead. Twist. Stay right there. A little bit better. Take your small steps forward towards me. Towards me. Stay there, because I'm going to have you pivot the other way now. Reverse pivot to the right. Towards me. Yep. There it is. A lot better. And so now you guys couldn't see for that one because I wanted them to have a reference point to do it because I was in front of the camera. Now do it again one more time. Stay there. Now do it again back in front of the camera. All right. So that is how we predominantly move, and those are the basics that we have from a fundamental standpoint in boxing. Now, bonus for you guys, if we want a couple drills to do to get better at this thing, I have those drills for you, and we're also going to show them now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we started with that boxing stance, and we're about shoulder width apart with our feet. We need to get back in that position because there's a mirror in front of me, and you should have a mirror in front of you as well to make sure that everything looks good, because if it's right in the mirror, it's right in real life. If it's wrong in the mirror, it's wrong in real life. So what I'm going to do first is as I twist this toe, I want to make sure that I have head, knee, heel alignment. I'm not even worried about my boxing stance right now as much. I'm worried about my balance, right? So I went one turn, now I'm going the other turn, making sure in front of the mirror I see head, knee, heel alignment, head, knee, heel alignment, and that's the balance that I want to see. So Jordan, go ahead. Let me see a couple of them. Remember, don't worry about your boxing stance, shoulder width apart with that feet, almost like we started from the beginning. Go ahead. So let me go and see that twist. Look at yourself in the mirror. Make sure you see head, knee, heel alignment. Twist the other way. Make sure that you see head, knee, heel alignment. Give me another one. And give me another one. There we go. Now he can put himself into a boxing stance. Go ahead. The next thing that we're going to do is something called box pivots, right? So the name of the drill is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to make a box, and we're going to pivot. So he's going to step forward, stay right there. He's going to pivot one direction, complete the pivot, and he's going to pivot back in that other direction to face the mirror once again. He's going to step to the right, pivot, pivot again, step back, pivot, pivot again, step to the left, pivot, pivot again. Big thing with this pivot is even though you guys know that you're going to pivot back again, we're not focused on boxing choreography right now. So what some of you may do in the beginning is when you pivot, you may go ahead and leave that foot here because you know you're going to turn back again. We're not working on boxing choreography right now or combinations. We're working on the skill required with our feet individually to get better. So I have to work on being able to pivot this way. So I have to complete the pivot, and I have to work on pivoting this way to go and complete the pivot as well. So that's one thing for you guys as you do this drill. Now Jordan's back in front of us. Very similar to what we did from the side to sides, but this time we're facing the mirror and stay in your boxing stance. And we're working on just that twist. So twisting the toe, stay there. If you notice when he twists the toe, it takes care of his hips, it takes care of his shoulder. It also moves his head to a different slot, which is over his lead leg. And not lead leg where he's leaning, it's gonna be over that knee and over that heel. He doesn't wanna take his head past because he wants to be balanced. Now he's gonna twist the other way. He's gonna stay right there, making sure everything's perfect. Twist one more time. And twist one more time. So this drill is called shifts. It's the beginning of the shifts. So the first drill that we had was side to sides to work on your balance, making sure in the sideways in the mirror you can see head knee alignment. Then we did box pivots, which is working on your movement, right, in that linear and lateral, and then also from a pivoting standpoint as well. And then we have shifts, which is now in front of the mirror, making sure that he's moving from that side to side, but his head slot is changing as well. The last thing that we're gonna do is circles. So back to the original thing that Jordan did, but however, we're going to continue completing the circle all the way to the right. Let me go ahead and see it. Take your time. Boom. Act like you're fighting somebody in the center. Take your time. And then as soon as he makes it back to his original position, he's now going to go ahead and circle to the left because you have to be able to move both ways in boxing. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Take your time. So if you made it to the end of the video and the end of these drills, and if you're advanced and you can do these things, that's good for you. I'll have an advanced footwork video for you as well, where we talk about verbiage and boxing vocab and a couple of tricks and stuff that we do in boxing. Good. But if you're basic and you're beginner, do these things daily. And all it takes is 4 minutes to go ahead and do daily because we want to be efficient with our time to get better at boxing. But that is the drills that we do. That is the beginning boxing footwork. Another thing that you notice here is if I just ask Jordan to walk, right? And we want to go ahead and use this circle. What I want Jordan to do right now is not anything boxing standpoint, but he's just going to walk, right? So just walk in that circle for me. Right foot goes first. Just walk around the O. Once you make it, now still face that same direction, now walk backwards. Now, if you notice, he was a little bit more comfortable doing that because if I asked you guys to walk, that's a natural movement that you know how to do without really having to think about it. If you notice, as Jordan was doing this footwork, there was that little tension that was there because he feels like it's foreign. The better you get at this, the more confident you get, the more you'll be able to move a little bit and understand that when you box, all you're doing is either walking or running. Walking or running. Walking or running. But that's basic footwork for y'all. Thank Jordan for being here because I'm sure that it was hard to be on camera and do that when this is like his first time doing it, right? But that's for y'all and that's basic footwork.